It's time to tuck yourself away with a perfectly splendid new story in the Haunting series, featuring spooky new ghosts and murderous matriarchs. Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, I'm Jan, and in this video we're diving beneath the surface of Bly Manor to explain everything about the ending, the Lady of the Lake, the haunted house and its ghosts, plus what the final scene really means. Obviously spoilers ahead, so take care. Bly Manor's original matriarch, Viola, aka the Lady of the Lake, is at the heart of this story, and the 8th episode is crucial for understanding the origins of this season's mysteries. Viola was a confident woman who, contrary to the norms of the time, took charge of her own affairs and refused to bow to either her husband or the church. While her marriage was more of a business arrangement, she loved her daughter dearly, clinging to her tightly as they slept together each night. And, true to her possessive nature, she warned her child about those who might seek control over the manor in the future.
It is you, it is me, it is us.
That moment is the origin of the phrase that gives ghosts like Peter Quint the permission they need to possess a living person such as Rebecca Jessel or Miles.
It's you, it's me.
It's us.
We also see Viola's jealousy and controlling traits in her relationship with her sister. When she first notices a look between Pedretti and her husband, the beginnings of a deadly lung disease manifest. Later on, she becomes violently jealous of Pedretti after she finds her dancing with Arthur, and it's no coincidence that Peter Quint acts in a similar way in his relationship with Rebecca. The Lady of the Lake's stranglehold over Bly Manor is only broken in the final episode, when, desperate to save Flora from a watery doom, Dani offers Viola permission to live in her body.
It's you! It's me! It's us!
We don't know exactly why Viola agrees, but it could be that Dani's body offered her the opportunity to escape her endless cycle of purgatory, or perhaps what Dani said jolted some faded memory of the words she'd said previously to her own daughter. Either way, it seems that Dani's will is superior enough at that moment to keep the Lady of the Lake repressed for a while. The moment also breaks Viola's spell over all the other ghosts trapped at Bly, who now disappear. And as Viola accepts Dani's invitation, the colour of this eye here changes from blue to brown. Before this moment, both Dani's eyes were blue, but from this point on, she now has one blue and one brown eye, a mark of the beast now living in her body. Another detail that represents how Dani isn't entirely human any longer is the doll that Flora gives her when they say goodbye.
Are you sure you want to give me this one?
Must have it. It's you.
Flora regarding Dani as a doll in some way means deep down the little girl senses something has changed in the au pair, because it contrasts sharply with what she said to Dani when she first arrived at Bly Manor.
Is that me?
Why no, silly. You're you. It's just a dolly.
Dani fears the spirit of Viola inside her and explains to Jamie that it isn't peaceful but is filled with rage.
She's waiting. At some point, she's gonna take me.
The final episode's title, The Beast in the Jungle, comes from the novella of the same name by Henry James, in which a man is seized by the fear that some unknown catastrophe lies in wait for him. For Dani, she understandably fears the beast inside her. However, unlike the book's protagonist, Dani and Jamie vow to make the most of whatever time they have left, travelling, then setting up a life together.
One day at a time is what we've got. It's what everybody's got when you get down to it.
And similar to Viola, Dani discovers she has a lot longer than she first thought, and she's able to live relatively peacefully for over 5 years. By this time though, Dani feels that the beast is drowning out her own feelings more and more, and one night when she wakes up to discover she's about to choke Jamie, she understands the time has come when it's too dangerous to stay another day. When Jamie discovers Dani has drowned herself in the lake at Bly Manor, she begs Dani to take her as well. But unlike Viola's vengeful spirit, Dani's soul refuses, because in contrast to the previous Lady of the Lake, Dani's actions are motivated by selfless love. Jamie goes through life looking at reflections in the hope that Dani might come back to her. When the older Jamie, played by Carla Gugino, goes back to her hotel room after the wedding, there's a hint towards a happy-ish ending of sorts. She runs a bath and fills a sink with water, leaves her room door ajar, then falls asleep. As the camera cuts to behind Jamie, we see what looks like Dani's hand on Jamie's shoulder, the clues being the ring on her finger and the sweater sleeve. My interpretation of this shot is that Dani isn't literally in the room, but rather as Jamie fell asleep, they were both reunited in her dream or memory, while Dani's spirit or ghost remains at Bly Manor. The clue to this is what the storyteller says to the wedding party about Dani's ultimate fate.
She will merely walk the grounds of Bly, harmless as a dove, for all of her days, leaving the only trace of who she once was in the memory of the woman who loved her most.
In the show, we see that even living characters like Flora can experience an old memory in a dream world of sorts, and I think that perhaps Jamie is tucked away in a memory with Dani in this final moment. If you like this theory about the ending, then leave a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments below. Another cool detail about this final scene is that it cleverly links back to the opening scene of the very first episode, where the storyteller Jamie wakes up from her sleep at the hotel, which suggests that she has been repeating this routine for several nights with the hope of reuniting with Dani. And the way the end of the season in effect loops back to the beginning makes me think of the idea from Hill House that time isn't always linear but can fold in on itself.
I thought for so long that time was like a line. It's not like that at all. Our moments fall around us like rain.
Vala is also the origin of the strange time loops that many of Bly's ghosts find themselves trapped in. Despite her prognosis by a doctor that she would only have months left to live, her will to cling to life is stronger and she remains alive a full 6 years later.
I do not go.
Sick of her sister, Pedretti decides to kill her. However, even then, Viola's will keeps her spirit trapped in the realm of Bly Manor, locked away in the trunk of her clothes and jewels that she had put away for her daughter. Here in this self-made purgatory, Viola lives the same day over and over, sleeping, waking and waiting for someone with the key to open the trunk.
And she admitted her room was a dream, a construct, a lie preferred to the truth of the trunk.
Although Viola's endless cycle is broken when Pedretti opens the trunk, affording Viola an opportunity for revenge on her sister, sadness consumes her when she feels abandoned by her husband and daughter after they sell the house and toss the trunk into the lake. But Viola's will still holds her to this world, and she begins a new unending cycle of sleeping, waking, and this time walking from her watery new home to her daughter's bedroom and back again. Her power, even as a ghost, is the reason why everyone who dies on the manor grounds is unable to leave, and they end up as ghosts stuck in a limbo similar to hers.
The pull of that next world ignored, she instead made her own gravity of will, that would change the terrain of Bly Manor forever.
And it could be said that her power even extends a little to the nearby town of Bly, something alluded to in the first episode.
The people here, most of them, they're born here, they die here. Whole town's one big gravity well.
Similar to Viola, each of the other ghosts at Bly find themselves living in a loop of their own construction after they die. They're able to hop around between memories, but they always seem to end up returning to some defining moment in their life. For Peter Quint, he always finds himself returning to a moment which he describes as hell, because he has to repeatedly see his mother come to try and blackmail him, the same person who enabled his father's abuse of him and other children.
I think I'm in hell.
Well, where else would you go?
Miss Jessel finds herself returning to a moment where Peter photographs her over and over while she's wearing Charlotte Wingrave's fur coat.
Not this one, not this one.
Let me show you how beautiful you are.
Rebecca hates this memory because it's the time when she decided to go along with Peter's lies against her better judgment and despite Mrs. Grose's warnings. This seminal moment ultimately led to Peter completely deceiving her when he takes possession of her body and drowns her so that she ends up stuck with him. In Mrs. Grose's case, she finds herself returning to the moment when she first met Owen. Her loop is not as unpleasant as Peter's or Rebecca's, perhaps because she doesn't suffer the same regret or guilt that Peter or Rebecca do for their actions when they were alive. Her loop can be disconcerting for her at times though, because she's not aware to begin with that she's dead, but she is essentially spending time with the person who she grows to love and who becomes her soulmate. A theme that becomes clear by the end of Bly Manor is that the story we've seen isn't just a ghost story, but also a love story.
Same thing, really.
As creator Mike Flanagan told Vanity Fair, the show provides a new way to tell a love story, and by the end of the season, it's really hard to differentiate tragedy from romance. That sense of romantic longing for someone who meant so much to us but who's gone really is the heart of any ghost story. And as we see over the season, Bly Manor includes many types of love, from healthy relationships to toxic and guilt-ridden romances, each with their own power to either exorcise or create new ghosts. When Dani and Jamie finally recognise their true feelings for each other, this moment exorcises the ghost of her dead fiancé Edmund, which has been haunting her since he died. The day after Jamie and Dani sleep together, Dani is finally able to look in a mirror without his ghost staring back accusingly at her. Dani's true love for Jamie helps her let go of her guilt over his death. As Mike Flanagan has said, in the Haunting anthology series, ghosts are an expression of emotional wounds. And through her relationship with Jamie, Dani is finally able to heal her trauma from Edmund's death. Likewise, it's Dani's selfless love for Flora and willingness to sacrifice her own life when she invites Viola to possess her, which exorcises all of the ghosts that have been trapped at Bly Manor. In contrast to Dani and Jamie, Peter Quint and Rebecca Jessel's relationship is particularly toxic and filled with jealousy, deceit and manipulation. One of the manifestations of this is how the pair take possession of Miles and Flora, often without their permission, something we see through the children's strange behaviours, such as Miles demanding to be given wine and smoking and talking in a manner untypical for a boy of his age. Peter is the principal toxic force in the relationship, and we see him abuse the trust Rebecca places in him when she gives him permission to take control of her body so that they can be together forever. Her stipulation was that they be equals. However, without asking for her consent, he selfishly drowns her in the lake, trapping her as a ghost with him forever at Bly Manor. A little detail foreshadowing just how bad Peter Quint will end up being for Miss Jessel is when the song Tainted Love plays in episode 3 just before he and Henry interview Rebecca for the au pair job. And bound up with this idea of toxic love is the theme of possession and ownership. The two most destructive ghosts at Bly Manor, Peter Quint and Viola, are obsessed with trying to control the people around them. In fact, in many ways, Peter doesn't treat Rebecca like an autonomous human being with wants, needs and rights of her own. Rather, he treats her like property. He sees what he wants and takes it without permission, whether that's draining Henry Wingrave's bank accounts, stealing jewellery and fur coats from Bly Manor, or taking Rebecca's life forever. And the way Peter manipulates people to do exactly what he wants is like a child playing with a toy, or like Flora playing with her dolls, as Mike Flanagan says. However, as Dani explains, treating people like this is the antithesis of true love.
People do, don't they? Mix up love and possession. I don't think that should be possible. I mean, they're opposites, really. Love and ownership.
When grown-up Flora tells the storyteller she's scared of losing her forever person, Jamie replies that they should enjoy their time together and not worry about that, and when that moment comes, she can still enjoy the memories of their time together. And as I said earlier, that's something we see Jamie do herself at the very end of the season. It's also something the older Owen talked about in his speech at the rehearsal dinner in the first episode.
To truly love another person is to accept that the work of loving them is worth the pain of losing them.
Mrs. Grose proves this point at the end when she selflessly decides to leave the memory she's in with Owen to help him in the real world.
Be brave in death, Hannah. We both know you're not so selfish to remain hidden in the memory.
Likewise, Dani's lady in the lake refuses to drag Jamie down with her. And similarly, in the end, Rebecca manages to reject Peter's manipulations and helps protect Flora by refusing to possess her as well. The other main love story at Bly Manor is between Henry and Charlotte, the wife of his brother Dominic. After Dominic discovers what's been going on, he and Charlotte go on a trip to India to repair their marriage, where they're tragically killed in an accident. The tremendous guilt that Henry suffered when he heard the news, and the knowledge that he was indirectly responsible for their deaths, gave birth to his doppelganger ghost that night. And this ties in with what Mike Flanagan has said, that when we fall in love, we give birth to a new ghost. Henry's antagonistic alter ego ghost was a product of the guilt and sadness he felt upon learning of the death of the woman he loved. And similar to the ghosts at Bly Manor, Henry seems to live much of his life in a loop, even though he's still alive. His brother might have forbidden him from returning to Bly after his affair, but Henry's overbearing sense of guilt means he doesn't even leave his office at night to go to his home in London. He also feels compelled to repeatedly call Bly Manor, making him the cause of the silent calls at the house. Coming up are a couple more videos on Bly Manor, including all the secret hidden ghosts lurking in the house, plus another video with Easter eggs and more spooky details you might have missed in the episodes. Tap here for my Haunting of Bly Manor playlist or follow the link in the video description. So what did you think of the Haunting of Bly Manor and its ending? And do you have any thoughts or theories about Dani or any of the ghosts or characters in the story? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then a thumbs up is hugely appreciated. Tap left to watch my next Bly Manor video, or tap right for something else you're sure to like. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers!